In an unexpected turn of events, the tranquility of the iconic Rainbow Bridge was shattered. A horrific incident unfolded at the US-Canada border crossing, turning a peaceful November evening into a scene of chaos and fear. Initial reports from CBS News suggest a vehicle explosion, a tragic event that claimed the lives of two individuals. The incident occurred at the Rainbow Bridge, a popular crossing point between the two nations. As the news broke, a wave of shock and concern swept across both nations. The Rainbow Bridge, an emblem of peace and unity, became the epicenter of a dreadful incident. This bridge, more than just a physical connector, stands as a symbol of friendship and cooperation between two great nations, the United States and Canada. Nestled between the vibrant cities of Niagara Falls, this architectural marvel has long served as a bustling conduit for travelers, tourists, and traders alike. Its significance, however, transcends its utility. The Rainbow Bridge, with its graceful arch and stunning views of the cascading falls, embodies the harmonious relationship between the two countries it links. It is a testament to the idea that despite our differences, we can build bridges, not walls. But the recent incident has cast a dark shadow over this symbol of unity. The violent act that unraveled here has not only caused loss and grief, but also tainted the essence of what the Rainbow Bridge represents. The serenity of the Rainbow Bridge was disrupted by this horrific act of violence. As the day unfolded, the true scale of the incident began to emerge. It was a day like any other, bustling with activity as people crossed the Rainbow Bridge, unaware of the impending disaster. The initial explosion was sudden and unexpected. One moment there was the usual hum of engines and honking horns, the next a deafening boom that sent shockwaves rippling through the air, shaking the very foundations of the bridge. The peaceful morning was shattered as a regular day turned into a scene straight out of a nightmare. Immediately, the authorities sprang into action. The local police force, fire department, and emergency medical services were on the scene in a matter of minutes, rushing towards danger instead of away from it. They bravely navigated the chaos, extinguishing flames, securing the area, and providing immediate aid to the injured. Their swift reaction undoubtedly saved countless lives. But as the smoke cleared, the grim reality began to set in. 2 people were confirmed dead, victims of the explosion. The heart-wrenching news sent a wave of sorrow through the community, a stark reminder of the human cost of such incidents. In the midst of the turmoil, the first responders continued their tireless efforts. Every second mattered as they searched for survivors, their resolve unwavering despite the mounting pressure and the devastating scene unfolding before them. They worked hand in hand, their collective efforts a beacon of hope amidst the despair. As the day wore on, the full extent of the incident became more and more evident. The once bustling bridge now stood eerily quiet, its echo drowned out by the sirens and the somber whisperings of the crowd that had gathered. The Rainbow Bridge, a symbol of connection and unity, had become a symbol of tragedy. With every passing moment, the gravity of the situation became increasingly apparent. Eyewitnesses paint a chilling picture of the incident. Imagine a regular day turned into a nightmare. As the explosion echoed across the Rainbow Bridge, the immediate vicinity was plunged into chaos. Eyewitnesses recall the ground shaking, a deafening bang, followed by the shockwave that sent people sprawling. The air was thick with smoke, dust, and fear. One eyewitness, a woman who was crossing the bridge, described the moment of the explosion as a scene from a horror movie. She remembers the immediate silence after the blast, then the screams of people in shock, in pain, in fear. The sight of cars twisted and turned into unrecognizable shapes, the smoke billowing out and the fire that seemed to consume everything in its path. Another account comes from a local shopkeeper whose store overlooks the bridge. He recalls the shockwave shattering his storefront windows. He describes the immediate aftermath as a scene of utter confusion and chaos. People were running, some towards the explosion to help, others away in sheer terror. Amid the chaos, he saw acts of heroism, strangers helping each other, pulling people from the wreckage. A truck driver stuck in traffic near the bridge when the explosion happened shares his account. He talks about the confusion, the panic, He didn't know what had happened, only that he needed to get out of there. Cars were swerving, people were abandoning their vehicles, running for safety. He recalls the sound of sirens in the distance growing louder, the first responders rushing to the scene. Then there is the account of a mother who was waiting on the Canadian side of the bridge to pick up her son. She narrates the unspeakable fear that gripped her heart when she saw the explosion. The terror she felt as she frantically tried to reach her son on his cell phone. The relief when she finally heard his voice. Through their words, we glimpse the terror and confusion that reigned in those fateful moments. In the aftermath, the quest for answers began. As the dust settled and the shock began to subside, the focus shifted to the investigation of this tragic incident at the Rainbow Bridge. The task was monumental, but the determination to uncover the truth was equally strong. Both U.S. and Canadian authorities were quick to respond, pooling their resources and expertise together. This was not just a crime against one nation, but against both, and the unity of their response reflected that sentiment. The FBI, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and local law enforcement agencies from both sides of the border were mobilized, marking the start of a comprehensive, transnational investigation. The scene at the Rainbow Bridge was meticulously combed over, each piece of evidence carefully documented. The intensity of the explosion had left a complex puzzle to solve, but every fragment could potentially hold a key to understanding what had happened. Early statements from officials were cautious, reluctant to jump to conclusions until more was known. The New York governor promptly addressed the public, assuring that there was no immediate indication of a terrorist attack. However, the nature of the incident left many questions unanswered, questions that the ongoing investigation aimed to resolve. As the days progressed, two unfortunate fatalities were confirmed, victims of the vehicle explosion. This tragic revelation underscored the urgency and importance of the investigation, the need to bring justice for those lost and ensure the safety of the public. Forensic experts, intelligence analysts, and criminal investigators worked tirelessly around the clock. Their combined efforts were fueled by the hope that their findings would shed light on this dark incident and perhaps prevent future tragedies of a similar nature. The investigation was not just about finding who was responsible, but also understanding why this happened and how it could have been prevented. It was about learning from this tragedy and strengthening our defenses against such threats. As the investigation progresses, both nations await answers. The quest for truth continues not just for the authorities, but for the people of both nations who were shaken by this event. The hope is that in time, the investigation will provide the answers we all seek and bring some measure of peace to those affected. In the wake of the incident, a shared grief binds the U.S. and Canada. As the dust settles from the devastating incident at Rainbow Bridge, a profound sadness resonates across both nations. Yet, amidst the sorrow, a spirit of unity is palpable. The resilience of the human spirit is evident as the citizens of both the United States and Canada rally together in support of one another. The loss of lives has left an undeniable mark on the hearts of many. Friends, families, and strangers alike mourn the victims, their memories kept alive in the hearts of those they leave behind. The grief is palpable, yet so is the strength and the resolve to move forward, to heal, and to remember. In the days following the incident, vigils and memorials have been held in cities across both countries, testament to the shared grief and solidarity. Candles flicker against the night sky, each a beacon of hope amidst the darkness, a symbol of the undying human spirit. Personal stories are shared, tears are shed, and the names of the victims are spoken aloud, echoing in the quiet of the night. Yet, despite the heavy hearts, there are acts of kindness and support that shine brightly. People from all walks of life have stepped in to lend a hand, whether it's offering a comforting shoulder to lean on, sending messages of condolences, or making donations to help those affected. As we navigate through these trying times, it's the resilience, unity, and compassion that stand out the most. It's the shared tears, the collective mourning, and the mutual support that remind us that we are not alone in our grief. Indeed, the aftermath of such a tragic incident is never easy to bear, but it's the spirit of community, the shared strength, and the unwavering solidarity that help us to weather the storm. In the face of adversity, we stand as one, united by our shared humanity. In this time of tragedy, unity and resilience shine through. As we reflect on this tragic event, we are reminded of our shared humanity. We've delved into the heart-wrenching incident at Rainbow Bridge, hearing firsthand from those who witnessed the terror unfold. The ongoing investigation, brimming with diligence and resolve, seeks to uncover the truth behind this dreadful act. The aftermath, though marked by loss and sorrow, also showcases a beacon of unity and resilience. In the face of adversity, we stand united and we stand strong.